The bear held onto Timothy's bloodied face, thrashing and yanking on his neck. "Run! Oh my God, run!" he'd yell to his terrified girlfriend, who was standing only a few meters away. The sounds of her screams could be heard piercing the audio recorder device, and she stayed to the bitter end to protect her eccentric boyfriend. She could be heard hitting the bear with a frying pan, but to no avail. And soon after, her screams would be heard as well, echoing throughout Katmai. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So this story is about the legendary Grizzly Man. And I remember back in the day when I was a duck, I watched this documentary when it was released, and I was fascinated by it. To be honest with you guys, I thought Timothy Treadwell was a really interesting character. His energy, his confidence, and just how he took the path less traveled. In some ways, I feel that he lived a very inspiring life, aside from the poor decisions he made and most likely poor judgment. But I was always into bears, and this documentary really solidified my interest in them because he got some excellent footage from it. Bears up close in their natural habitat, living amongst them. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank you guys for all your support on this channel, as it has been growing exponentially. And if you will, like the video, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a patron or a channel member. Links in the description below. So let's get into this tragic story. Timothy Treadwell was an American environmentalist, activist, and documentary filmmaker. He spent 13 summers living among grizzly bears in Katmai National Park in Alaska. Treadwell became known for his work with grizzly bears and his efforts to protect them from hunting and habitat destruction. He developed a unique approach to studying the animals, which involved getting close to them and interacting with them in their natural habitat. Treadwell was deeply committed to his cause and believed that he had a special relationship with the bears, which he believed recognized him as a friend. However, his methods were controversial, and many experts in the field of wildlife biology and conservation criticized them as dangerous and unethical. Treadwell's story is one of both admiration and controversy, and his tragic death had sparked a heated debate about his legacy. Timothy Treadwell was born on April 29, 1957, in Long Island, New York. He was the youngest of 5 children and had a troubled childhood. Treadwell struggled with drug and alcohol addiction from an early age and was in and out of rehabilitation centers throughout his youth. Despite his struggles, Treadwell was a talented and creative individual with a passion for acting and filmmaking. After graduating from high school, Treadwell moved to California and began a career as an actor. He appeared in several TV shows and movies, but found little success. In the early 1980s, Treadwell moved to Los Angeles and began working as a bartender. It was during this time that Treadwell's life took a dramatic turn. In the late 80s, Treadwell took a trip to Alaska and discovered the grizzly bears of Katmai National Park. He was immediately captivated by the animals and felt a deep connection with them. Treadwell began spending his summers in Alaska, living among the bears and filming their behavior. He developed a unique approach to studying the animals, which involved getting close to them and interacting with them in their natural habitat. Treadwell's approach to studying grizzly bears was unlike anything that had been seen before. He believed that he had a special relationship with the bears and that they recognized him as a friend. Treadwell would often speak to the bears in a high-pitched voice and give them human names, such as Mr. Chocolate and Samson. He believed that he could communicate with the animals and that they would listen to him. In addition to his methods, Treadwell's personal life was also controversial. He struggled with addiction, as mentioned, and had mental health issues, as well as a tumultuous relationship with his girlfriend, Amy Huguenard, who accompanied him on his trips to Alaska. Treadwell's behavior became increasingly erratic over time, and he began to exhibit signs of paranoia and delusion. Some critics argued that Treadwell was putting himself and Hegunard in danger by living among the bears, and that his actions were irresponsible. Treadwell was undeterred by the criticism and continued to live among the bears every summer. He documented his experiences in a series of films and books, which gained a small but dedicated following. Treadwell became a vocal advocate for grizzly bear conservation and made several appearances on talk shows and news programs to promote his cause. On October 5, 2003, Treadwell and Hegunard were killed by a grizzly bear in Katmai National Park. Treadwell had been filming the bears, as he had done for many years, but this time the encounter turned deadly. Treadwell and Hegunard's remains were found by park rangers, and the bear that killed them was soon after tracked down and shot to death by several park rangers. Treadwell's death shocked the world and sparked a heated debate about his legacy. Some people saw Treadwell as a brave conservationist who had given his life for the bears he loved. They argued that Treadwell had raised awareness about the plight of grizzly bears and had inspired many people to care about conservation. Others saw Treadwell as a reckless and misguided individual who had put himself and others in great danger. Jeez, what a crazy story about this guy though, for real. I remember I was watching some videos about this incident, and the guy who would drop him off on the island every year was flying by to pick him up again, and he just felt something in the air that was very strange. He saw some bear that was roaming around as if it were paranoid or as if it did something horrendously wrong. So when he was trying to land his plane, he was being very cautious about it. He got out and walked over to the campsite and didn't see any sign of Timothy or Amy, his girlfriend. What he did see, however, was a giant bear. Perhaps, however, rather malnourished, about 100 yards away or so, just gazing at him. He knew that the bear had a look in its eye that he hasn't seen before, and he knew there was something off, so he rushed back to his plane, and fortunately he made it there alive. But yeah, the guy then returned with more people, and they found the remains of Timothy and his girlfriend, and they ended up tracking down the bear and shot it to death. And it was acting very suspiciously. But nonetheless, there's a lot more to this story, really, and you guys can delve into the internet and probably find more details on these matters. I'd love to research it a bit more thoroughly in the future, and maybe I will make another video about it. But yeah, this guy was something else. And I'm curious, what are your thoughts about him and his documentary and all that he stood for back when he was alive? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on these matters, and like this video, subscribe to the page for more chilling tales from the Iceman.